Welcome back. You tuned into This is Mid Morning Talk with me, your host Maria Mia, and it's afternoon now. And moving to our environmental segment. So I'm going to read out a press release from the SEMNet environmental desk, and this gives us a good understanding and explanation. I'm sure many of you through social media have received, encouraging you, but received requests to sign a petition to object to the Shell seismic survey on the South African coast. And so the South African Muslim network stands in solidarity with activists from Rebecca, Shell, and CGG seismic survey on the South African coast. So on the 1st of December, this year 2021, this is coming up in 2 days' time. On Wednesday, Shell will begin seismic surveys in search of oil or gas deposit from Morgan's Bay to Port St. John's in the wildcoast for 5 to 6 months. Shell seismic survey vessel, the Amazon Warrior, will work around the clock, firing batteries of air cannons every 10 seconds daily. When sufficient quantities of oil and gas is found, our pristine and fragile wild coast will be mined. The seismic blasting is not a once-off event. When Shell is done with the unique and diverse environment, however, the ocean is magnificently unpredictable, and the end goal to mine not and the end goal does not shout out protection. Seismic surveying mimics its echolocation that dolphins and whales use to navigate and find their prey. Marine animals use sound to find food, avoid predators, find mates, navigate, and communicate. The sound for these creatures, we can understand how destructive this activity can be to the marine ecosystem. Marine beings do not have a voice, and the destruction they face will go unnoticed if we cannot be their voice today. The ocean itself produces over half of the world's oxygen. We need to protect it from human interference, especially intervention to extract more fossil fuels, which will bulge the waistlines of Shell's shareholders. So Sylvia Earle advised us what we need to respect, the oceans and take care of them as if our lives depend on it. So yes, that is the press release from SAMNet, and the environmental desk is encouraging all of us to please go out, sign the petitions. If you Google exploration, you will find Shell exploration. You will find the surveys and more information. But that's just for background for those of you who did not understand what the exploration entails, but to give us a better understanding of those echolocations as well as the potential harm and destruction it will cause on our marine life as well as on the pristine coastline. I've got joining us on the line Dr. Desmond D'Sa. He's a South African environmentalist who received the 2014 Goldman Prize. He's known so for me, he's up my alley. He's an academic who's an activist. He's known for protesting environmental justice issues in Durban, South Africa, related to access to Greenpeace and pollution. The region of the city where he lives is known as Cancer Alley because of the 300 plus industrial facilities in the area. To address this, he founded the South Durban Community Environmental Alliance. That network has been successful at opposing other polluting sites and is advocated to prevent expansion of the Port of Durban. In 2011, his house was firebombed for the advocacy. He was raised in the apartheid era, and he was inspired to integrate environmental and social justice issues in his activism. For his work, he received an honorary doctorate from the Durban University of Technology. So highly accomplished academic, but coupled with his academia is his activism. So an academic that walks his talk. Good afternoon, Dr. Desmond D'Sa, and welcome to Mid Morning Talk on Salam Media.
Good afternoon to the listeners. Thank you for inviting me.
So, for me, it was a very emotional issue when I read about it, because the Wild Coast has been my yearly summer holidays. Everything from, even there, from Eastern Cape up to Port St. John. So, Hole in a Wall, Haga Haga, Morgan's Bay, Port St. John's itself. These are all Kai River Mouth. These are all happy memories and playground for me. My summer playground, where I wake up in the morning, watch these magnificent dolphins in full stride, and just the beauty, and then the cows on the beach on the Transkei West Coast, for those who visited. So it's a very emotive issue, has special memories for me. So um, I was particularly interested, because that area is second home to me. So can you tell us about uh, the impact of this seismic survey?
Well, look, it is an emotional issue. We should all be angry in South Africa. We that love the ocean, love marine life, love fresh fish and chips, love fish curry, but also love the beauty of just going to the beach, beautiful sea sand, beautiful water. We should all be angry about it. We should not allow a profit-making company of like Shell's caliber to come and destroy in South Africa. They've been destroying all over the world, in Ireland. They've been destroying the Curacao. They've been destroying the whales in the Sakhalin Island. So this is not something that Shell doesn't do. Shell will come here and destroy all our beautiful marine
I
life,
lost you for a bit.
fish. So the seismic testing that has been done already in the last 5 years has resulted in whales and fish washing up dead on the coast. So we had dolphins washing up dead, we've had whales washing up dead, but also your lionfish, your shad. The seismic testing is going to be done at a time of it comes into the pathway of all our fish coming up from all over, from the South Pole to the North Pole, from every ocean. So it will have an impact on people's livelihood, on people's food security. And we know in South Africa, with the high unemployment rate, people have been living off the sea and taking on fish to feed their families, and to put and to also pay the other bills and put their children to education. This will put a halt to all of that. Similar to what COVID done in 2020, it put a halt to all the fishermen fishing on the coastline until we came out and started to have a vocal voice. So I would appeal that to everybody. Firstly, we should boycott Shell. Let us not fill up any petrol at a Shell garage. I know it's going to hurt people, some of the business people that we know, but they need to understand. It's a bigger picture of what's going to happen on our coastline. Shell is arrogant, and they've corrupted our government in this whole thing. The second thing I think was important here, sign the petition. The many thousands of people signed, the more of us sign, the better it is for us to put pressure on government. The third thing is that on Sunday the 1st, let us come out in our numbers on every beach corner of South Africa. Our entire coastline might have a flag saying no to Shell, no to greed, and no to profit. Yes to healthy oceans, yes to our marine life, yes to swimming, yes to recreation. Now, in addition to that, we have called out our traditional healers who canvass our ocean. We use the water to drink, and it's healthy for them. It's healthy for all of us. So we are calling out them to come out as well. So this is going to be weeks of action. Shell's going to get no break, no respite. Every garage, if they don't want to listen, we stop everybody from going to the garages and not filling up at the Shell garage. The other very critical thing, on the 11th of December, we are matching on the promenade. We're calling people to go to their main beaches and flock in your numbers and say we're not allowing Shell. Shell must go back. Shell is running away from the Dutch to England because they know that they have to reduce their emissions. What they're doing, the Dutch have already said, Shell must move away from fossil fuel. So they're coming here to South Africa thinking that our government is going to allow them, and our government is doing that. We should all stand up. The government can never be independent of the people of this country. The people of this country are more important. It's little things that he owns our president, Cyril Ramaphosa, thinks that he owns the ocean, then he doesn't understand about that. The ocean has been placed in his hands to take care of it. He's got no right to sell off of the ocean because it's not going to benefit anyone in this country. It's going to benefit the oil and gas and move it away. Operation Pakisa is hurry up, get more greedy, have deep pockets and more money for these big oil corporations. I think the time has come for the people of this country to say no to oil and gas and say, yes, there are alternatives. Let us go and move to the alternatives that other countries in the continent have already moved through. So I would appeal to everybody that loves people, that are peaceful, loving people, that love our ocean, love the fish, love to go and surf, love to swim, love to take a walk out, love to take their families to the ocean, to come out, and all of us must wear blue on the foot. Let us all wear sky blue on the foot, and we say we cannot allow Shell to come and destroy our commons. This belongs to all of us. Let us stand up for today, but let us stand up for our future, which are our children and our grandchildren, to make sure that we leave something better for them and not allow Shell to come and destroy what we have. And we've seen the devastation in other parts of the continent in Africa, whether it's in Nigeria or whether it's in Mozambique, where wars are being created because they come in there and then they increase security and they take away all the resources and they leave people in worse off conditions in abject poverty. My appeal is to these people.
Dr. Desmond, what I'd like to, I'm trying to understand then, before you do, and even in exploration to look, you have to submit an impact study. So how did this impact study pass through or go through environmental affairs or even the mining? I don't know, whichever department it needs to go. And how was this allowed? They were given the green light that they can do this. Surely alarm bells should have gone on. I mean, we shouldn't, the public, be being activists on our coastlines. I mean, inland, I'm happy to protest here, inland as well. But how did this then pass in our government is allowing this? Is it because, I don't know, profits are greater than our care for the environment? What is it? Is it politics and it's all about money and politics, like so often every issue is?
Well, it's also that the departments that we talk about, Department of Minerals and Energy, have a history of a lot of corruption and all that there, and that we are seeing more and more that the political terrain is wanting to put money in their pockets. And so if you look at the shareholding of Shell and all that, our political party has been captured, and they've got shares in Shell. That's part of it. But the other part is that this development, this issue of seismic testing started way back many years ago, and no one knew about it. No one knew about it, and it shows again the department has failed to ensure that we are consulting with people in this country. So that's a major problem for us in the sense that the government and the Department of Minerals and Energy and our politicians and our minister were supposed to tell Shell, this has collapsed, this you have to reapply, and you have to notify the citizens of this country that this is your intention. Instead, what the government has done is gone and signed an investment agreement and allowed this to come back. Shouldn't that's not the way it's supposed to be. So we will look at how do we proceed to the High Court to deal with it. We're not going to only just stand and protest, but we'll also look at the court of this country to put what's wrong right, to rectify if there's an illicit communication, illicit deals that were cut, that were shared, decisions that were made that were illicit. We should be able to find out if we go to the court and get the paperwork for all this. Because clearly the department is not providing any paperwork. We have already voiced our opinion that we disagree with it. And we think that it's time to really take on the government and all of us in this country must stand together. I think we have to stand together and be able to show not only the unity, but be able to show that no corrupt decision is above the people of this country and can succeed. I think if we come up in our numbers and we take it to the court after that, that's going to show that the people of this country do not expect that. We love our
And
ocean.
Dr. Desmond, so Shell South Africa has said very little. I tried to engage a spokesperson from Shell South Africa, and they indicated they're not commenting at the moment. Suffice to say, they said it's not Shell South Africa that's doing the exploration, but the parent company, Shell, is involved in this. So it's not personally Shell South Africa, but at the end of the day, Shell South Africa is selling their product. They representing the parent company in South Africa. So there's been a debate amongst many people in social circles on whether it's going to be effective to boycott Shell South Africa or not. But I felt Shell South Africa should say something.
Well, look, I think Shell South Africa is inconvenient. Shell represents the parent company in South Africa and the country of production. So they got the big refinery here that they're selling off and inviting shares to buy into. So they're cutting deals behind our backs with government and other political parties. But we are talking to the people in the Netherlands to come out in the numbers. That's why it's important for us to come out in our numbers. We come out in our numbers and we're angry about Shell. The Dutch are going to pick up that the investments that they're investing in of no use. And they will be able to do something in the Netherlands. And I'm absolutely sure that they'll take it to the court in The Hague, and they'll also take it to the EU to say that Shell is undermining the commitment the EU made in Glasgow. So, we've got a lot to ponder, but I think we must move up the tempo. And the way we're going to do is up the tempo on all the oceans. We're going to fight there, and we'll be able to deal with them. And really, this boycott is not like the sanctions. We need to invest in this boycott so that it is like the sanctions. When people applied the sanctions in the 1970s, where Shell was supporting the apartheid regime, it's no different this. Shell has done it in Nigeria when 9 Ogonis were killed because of Shell's complicity in government, and we're seeing it now. And I think in South Africa, we need to stand up, even at the expense of our own families and ourselves, because this is going to be a fight that we can't afford to lose, and we can't sit back and allow Shell to destroy. Our people must rise now, like we rose during the apartheid era against a company like Shell. Time to go back to that and show Shell that we have not forgotten how to fight them, and that we are going to reinforce the sanctions on Shell all over the world.
Professor, can you just, Dr. Desmond, can you please give us those details for the protest that you said, so everybody is living in a coastal town to come out at your local beach, so to speak, and to protest? It's on Sunday, am I correct, or Saturday?
Yeah, we're going to start at 10 on Sunday. Everywhere, even if you do it in Johannesburg at a Shell garage or even at the dams, let us all do it all over. But let us come out in our numbers at 10 o'clock on Sunday, the 5th of December. We are going to be all over the beaches and all over the coastal lands to stand up against Shell.
So, Professor, I have a Shell garage literally 200 meters from my home, and I have the Emerentia Dam 2 blocks from me. So do I go half and half, Emerentia Dam and outside Shell?
That's right.
The only thing is the owner of the Shell garage is a good friend of mine, and he always helps me when I need sponsorship for my various community outreach programs. So I feel kind of conflicted at the moment. But yes, I think I'm going to have a conversation and ask him where he sits in Botswana.
I think we must empathize with him. I think we must do what's necessary for Shell to listen. And I think, Shell's not going to listen if you're going to be soft. So we're going to let the owners also stand up with us and say they're losing business. We've got 25 Shell owners in the Pondoland coastline, divesting out of Shell and getting oil from, getting petrol from somewhere else. So I think it can be done. And we must tell the owner, we are with you. Please buy petrol from somewhere else. Don't buy from Shell.
Okay, Professor, Dr. Desmond, it's been fascinating speaking to you. I can, your passion for this issue is tangible, and yes, I am sincerely praying that our activism and our noises are going to reach the who's who, not only in South Africa but globally. We just at the back end of a COP26, so let's hope that the COP26 was not just all talk shop, and those that have signed our signatories to making sure that we have environmentally clean air can walk their talk and support this cause as well. And let's see if we can halt this seismic exploration and find alternative clean air sources of renewable energy. And that's what COP's mission is. So let's hope that the world leaders walk their talk, and let's see through our action if we can put a halt to this. Thanks so much for joining me here on Salam Media on Morning Talk, and hopefully we can connect with you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you. Right. Thank you.
Okay, pleasure. That was Dr. Desmond Mathew D'Sa, and yes, one of the activists, vocal activists, academics as well, in protest of the planned seismic exploration on the wild coast. Remember, there's no oil there yet. There's no gas that is found. That's the whole thing. They're going digging, treasure hunting, bounty hunting, if you'd like to call it. So they're going in search of things, there's nothing concrete there. And if they don't find anything, what they're going to do, just move on. What about the lasting impact? In my books, clearly irresponsible, especially in 2021, when we need to be looking for alternate clean air, renewable sources, and that's where money is supposed to be invested. So Shell parent company, Shell South Africa, whoever is looking, please use those funds and invest in technology where we're going to have a clean air, renewable sources. Take those funds, redirect them where we can benefit humanity with as little or minimal carbon footprint and impact. Let's take a short break, and then we're talking to Dr. Rapeti how to build our defenses for the upcoming fourth wave, or so-called fourth wave. I don't know, is it going to be a wave or what it is? We'll get Dr. Rapeti to answer all this after the break.
From the townships of South